Yes, I wanted to say a few things about our video, our newsletter. I had the impression that the last ceremony having to do with the Nukil or Turkimon, the image ceremony, and I thought it was 1948. You know, it so happens that it was pointed out by Mrs. Martin that it was around 1945, which I guess makes more sense for us being around 6 or 5 years old, and that would be the time we would be brave enough to go on the ground and grab some of the money that was flying around in the fire and the wind. It was outside, so that would be Sunday morning. Because I definitely recall doing that and hearing the people sing, and we saw the image dance, and vaguely, because it was just one or two times that I witnessed that. Now, the songs were sung during the week by the host tribe. That would be us singing until Wednesday, and then from that point the sacred bundle was brought out, and the rest of the week would have the guests appear and take part, and mainly that would be Palm Springs, Cahuilla-Serrano, and another clan. Anyway, I wanted to just mention that also when Mrs. Martin passed, this was our great grandaunt who was telling the story to Guy Out, as she and her cousin Magdalena were in charge of the big house and its doings until she died, and that was 1976. So that's when they stopped everything, of course, using the big house, and it was burned that year. But when Mrs. Martin was, her body was brought to as I recall, it was the Moravian Church. Now, I'm not sure about this because I wasn't in attendance. It was my mother who was telling me this. She said they did, when they had the body there, someone brought out the sacred beads, those that were from the bundle. And so once she saw that, she had to sing the songs for those sacred beads, because it had songs. And she sang 4 songs, she said, and that was all. Now, the witnessing this were 2 of our ceremonial leaders, friends from the other neighboring tribe, the Liseño from Rincon. They were present and they had sung that night. The older brother told me those songs that your mother sang were about those beads, because the subject had come up when we were talking about songs that their people sang, and using the same word for the beads. And we were talking about that, and it gave occasion for him to recall that my mother had sung those songs. And she told me that she had sung those because a younger past Cahuilla fellow came over to her when she finished and asked if he might learn those songs, if he could record them. And she told him it was the end, that those songs would never be sung again, because the sacred bundle and the beads, as far as she knows, would not be around anymore. They would be burned with Mrs. Martin, buried with Mrs. Martin. And so that explains for me a few things that I was wondering about. It was a time, and we later we were watching the skies for our calendar, when the stars would appear, featuring the Orion's belt. And most people know about that, but that was the bighorn sheep. For us, that was a time that to have that ceremony. And sure enough, we're watching it today, climb the sky, and next month it'll be the time when they would have had this ancient ceremony. And we always think about it, and I tell our friends and people, or anyone I can, about that, what little I know. It's just that it was a special time, and still is. Thank you.